What's up, you degenerate punters and rugby league fans all around the world? Luke and I are back. We're going to preview the State of Origin. We're going to share our best bets. We might talk about what we think is going to happen, but we shall see. And we'll also preview the 7 games in round 14 of the NRL. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I think that's only you right now, Lockie, but there's more coming. What up, big baller? State of Origin time. Tomorrow, Luke, it's happening. How
We're
blind
back.
are you going to get for it, or are you going to be well behaved on a
I
school
will be aroused for it tomorrow. It's an exciting time of year. As a Blues fan, though, it's been very frustrating. We'll put it that way. But
Blues
it's
fans
exciting.
are really lacking some confidence this year.
I like it because how many years we've been so fucking keen on us.
Still not the favourites. I mean, still not the underdogs. Sorry,
still not the underdogs, but I like that. We've had all these high expectations on us, and to be fair, if you look at our squad, it looks amazing. But I like that.
Huncho, welcome to you too, bruh. Let me know in the chat who you're going for, the Blues or the Maroons, bruh. Luke's got a maroon shirt on, but he's supporting the Blues. As always, supporting Queensland. I won't be unhappy if Queensland loses, but Luke probably will be if the Blues do. So, since we last did the pod, we discussed the team announcements and what's happening there. Late mail is Latrell's out. So what was that yesterday? The news came out that Latrell's not going to be playing. Bit of a car strain for Latrell Mitt. What do you think that does to the Blues? Is that a big loss? If it's South, but it's
in attack it is, because I think when he's at centre, if he play, he could be the best centre in the game by a mile.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. Easy. There's not even I know Crichton's replacing him, but daylight between. If any club signs Whiten, for example, going to South and playing centre, if that was a Latrell going anywhere and playing centre, you'd be you can win a comp with him there. So he's huge. He's just he's so hard to stop on your line when he's one-on-one, which is what happens when he plays centre. He will get one-on-one, whereas the fullback, people slide and cover. So it's a big loss. But it's not the worst thing for New South Wales having, say, Crichton coming in. He's played big games, obviously played Origin last year, back-to-back premiership, so the occasion's not going to throw him off being called up last minute. So
I'm going to make this start up, but backing myself here. I think 9 out of the best 10 centres in the NRL are all from New South Wales.
Who's your 10th?
Fuck, I don't know who they are, but I know who Queensland centres are, and I don't put them in the top 10.
Yeah.
Only Val Holmes. Val Holmes is probably the only one who makes the top 10.
It's a bit of a discounted position now, the centres, though. It's not. You look at all these players, Burton won a comp centre, but then moved into the halves. He still, for me, could be an absolute gun centre. Stephen Crichton leaving next year to go Penrith, even with Isaac Tungo or Tago. He's a back rower that they've moulded into the centres. A couple of years ago, Queensland shifted Capewell to the centres. It's very Whiten is going to play in the centres. It's not for me, it's not a position that people value as much, which I think they've forgotten. Latrell and Will Chambers, Latrell made Will Chambers look like his bitch, basically, for 2-3 years straight and was a game breaker.
But yeah, look, they're all gun centres, even though that's probably not their preferred position. They're all still better than the Queensland centres. Campbell Graham, he's probably the best centre going around at the moment.
Yeah.
Katoni Staggs is probably in the top 10, but in the bottom 5 of that 10. But I think he's better than all the Queensland centres.
Yeah. True.
There's even Sifa Talakai. He's better than all of Queensland centres except for bloody Val Holmes. And maybe Gaylor.
Morgan Harper, he's a Kiwi, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Kiwi. Fuck. Justin Olam, he's from Queensland.
What? PNG? Yeah.
It's pretty much Queensland, mate. Look, part of the reason why New South Wales are favourites in this one, it's because they've... it comes up every year, but they've got a bigger pool to select from. So I think individually they have better players, but it doesn't make them a better team. I think that could even make it harder. Whereas with Queensland, they've got a few people who just role players. And it's not because they look for role players. There's just no one else better in that position.
Yeah, fair call.
whereas New South Wales is competition in every spot except for the 7.
Yeah, but even
Every
the 7
spot.
was competitive up until
The
recently
7,
as well.
Nathan Cleary and Payne Haas. Outside of that, and everyone can punch on. Maybe Isaiah Yeo. He's probably safe, but he's still got competition.
That's because Victor Radley defected to the UK as well.
Yeah, Cam Murray as well. Gerbo, when he's playing good, they all compete. So New South Wales, a lot of competition for spots. It's difficult to pick a team. Whereas with Queensland, 75% of them are safe?
True.
So that's what I'm saying. All right, let's talk some rugby league. So New South Wales are $1.80 favourites in this one. Queensland at $2. The line is 2.5. Total points is at 35.5. That was at 34.5 last week. So the punters throwing money on the overs. In terms of picking a winner, can you pick one? Do you know which way this goes?
No.
Thanks for the honesty.
I
told you to lie and just pick one, but
I can't. I can't. I'll tell you, I will be tipping Queensland.
Okay.
I'll be tipping them. So I'm not confident, but I just think how can a team be outsiders when 12 months ago they beat this New South Wales team with arguably a worse Queensland, like a team. This is probably the strongest Queensland team we've seen in like 3 years. Over 3 years, and they've won 2 of the last 3. So
and the form of a lot of these players is really good.
Except
for Val Holmes and Tuolungi, everyone else is going excellent,
incredible. So for me, it's hard to say with confidence that New South Wales will win this. When I get the New South Wales thing, but Teddy's been fucking awful this year. Yep. Turbo until recently couldn't run. Yeah. Tavita Pangai has come from nowhere, and you don't know what you're going to get with him.
He hasn't played with one.
No, exactly. Tyson Frizzell, again, look at that Newcastle team. They're fucking awful. And they've got a lot of questions there. And then there's obviously like Nico Hines. How is he going to fit into this team? Playing, again, a Queensland team, Reece Walsh, it's scary how good he is. Cobbo's been there, done that. Val Holmes consistent. The Hammers having a great season. Tuolungi, you said, average this year. Munster DCE, you know they're going to be good. Flegler's killing it. Ben Hunt, World Cup winning hooker. Lindsay Collins, like they're just stacked. Like it's actually a very good team. That's the best Queensland team we've seen in years. Yet
if this was like FIFA and you had to apply ratings to
score,
the players, yeah. Like Queensland probably wouldn't have the highest rating for their players, but yeah,
even the interchange,
the intangible. I think they do really well. Well, yeah, Harry Grant's the best number 9.
Harry Grant, Tino, Big Tino's on the bench. Ruben Cotter, Jai Arrow, like they're fucking stacked on the bench as well. Like it's Christian Welch can't even get in the team, so it's a pretty good team. Which, I'm struggling to understand why they're outsiders.
Well, New South Wales is a really good team. I just don't. You know, Joey gets really upset with this, and it's like Queensland want it more. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but they have this extra gear that they can go to. Like they're willing to die for it. Like that, Queensland have a lot of players who are selfless. Like there's so many of them that are willing to die for that jersey. Whereas New South Wales probably has better players, but a lot of these players aren't the ones willing to die within their own clubs, and they don't have that makeup really.
Well, Crichton, Toto, and Luai play for Samoa as their choice of country, and you can tell they're more proud. Yeah, they're more proud to play for those teams than play for New South Wales. So there's a part of it. And I still also think with Origin for me, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. Like this whole mate versus mate, state versus state, where they would go out. Like I honestly don't think, like maybe because the biff's gone, but there's none of that hate. Like they'll be drinking beers and staying around chatting after the game together, whereas 20 years ago it would be straight into the sheds afterwards. There's not that anymore.
It was built on hatred, State of Origin.
Yeah. So,
but look, we could see some fireworks given Tavita's in the lineup. I think the question mark's still out there whether he starts or not. I think he's going to be really exciting to see, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. That could ignite some. If there's a bit in this game, the following ones could be a bit more arousing. But
But also for me, the coaching, like Brad Fittler hasn't done anything so far to me to say brilliant coach. Slater, on the other hand, was amazing last year. The way he got that team and the way they operate. Like
I think
for
he's
me,
better than half the NRL coaches. Billy
yeah,
Slater.
like that's the good point, right? If an NRL job opens up, it's often Billy Slater's talked about it.
Yeah,
No one talks about Fittler taking in an NRL job. When he won that series, he thought some people laughed, but yeah,
it's a good point. Let's talk singles for this one. So, one bet that I'm going to be taking, I'm going to take the under a total points in this one in the first half, under 16.5. I haven't looked into the data, but memory might serve me right that a lot of game ones tend to be the lowest scoring ones. It's nil all. It's pretty much a must-win game for both teams, especially at a neutral ground. Like, this game is so important. If you drop this, you're probably going to lose the series. So I think whilst they're fresh in that first half, the defense is going to be hot and horny. You checking the numbers for me?
I am actually.
Are you going to tell me that they all gone over?
I'm looking at totals like, as in just totals for the full game.
Right.
And since 2011, only one game one has gone over the 35 and a half, I think it's at the moment. Yep. And that was in 2021 when New South Wales won 50-6. That was the Turbo Latrell show basically that year. Other than that, it's been 32 points, 32 points, was it 34 points? 32 points. I tell you what, bet on 32 points here. There's a fucking trend right there. 26 points. Yeah, it's the under 35 and a half has hit basically 11 out of the last 12 game ones between these two, which is funny because I've gone overs.
Yeah, because you're a casual, mate. I told you the public are on the overs, and you're like, I'm going to take overs too.
Jump with me.
I'm thinking it's the unders. It's game one. It's going to be fucking tight. The only way it goes over if there's an absolute blowout. And I think if there's going to be a blowout, New South Wales do it. They've got more strike. They've got a team built to score points. They've got, Payne Haas and Payne Guy, if they do start, those two, I think they're in the top 3 in the comp in offloads.
Yeah, the ball's going to move.
Can you believe that? Payne Haas couldn't offload at all until late last year. He figured it out. He does it in the last 20 minutes of games when we're down by 30. And then this year, he started offloading. But the thing about Payne Haas, you could argue that he has the most effective offloads in the league because he doesn't throw the desperation ones. He'll carry blokes through the line. He'll make sure it's safe. He doesn't make errors and do a nice, safe offload. Whereas Pango makes sense. I'm not surprised to see his name up there. Even Hopgood, I think he's number 1, they just throw it out the back. They don't mind losing 20 meters. As long as they get the offload for their fantasy points, they're good. So if you've got Pangai and Payne, we know Bolo loves a good offload. And you've got Teddy's lurking around the middle. You'll have Turbo, freedom to roam. The Fox has some pace. I think there's New South Wales have a lot of potential to score points, is what I'm thinking. So if there's going to be a blowout, I think New South Wales kill them. So if you're going to take the overs, take New South Wales 13+. I think they put the points on. I can't see Queensland doing it. Queensland want it to be an absolute fucking shit show. They want to wrestle in the mud.
I could see a shootout happening, as weird as it sounds. I just think both teams are stacked, and like someone like Reece Walsh, for example, showed against Penrith the other week. He gets a bit of a broken line.
Oh, he's crazy. That's what he is.
And this will be interesting because, again, this is going to be the best team he's played with. Let's see how he could be even fucking scarier.
He could. He could also drop the ball 5 times.
Could. I know he does, but who knows?
He may. But look, I told you before we came on, get whatever opinion you have, lean into it, and go strong. And my strong opinion is, if it goes over, New South Wales are pounding the points. But what I'm saying is I don't think it's going over. I think it's unders. I think it's a grind. I think it's Queensland's type of game. I think it's an absolute fucking shit show played in the middle. They're gonna slow the rock down. They'll be offside all night, and I think the ref's gonna let them do it. Because the last thing these referees need is controversy for ruining the first state of origin. Because they've already been bloody pinged for weeks now for just getting too involved. So
yeah, fair cool.
I'm thinking the unders is on. And look, so do the bookies. That's why these bloody try scorers are paying so much. But before we get to try scorers, do you have any other bet apart from taking the overs?
Nah, just the overs. It
Yeah.
just makes it. I kind of then makes the game interesting because I want points. Yeah, I honestly, I don't. I know the odds say New South Wales just, and I know the teams, and I just think this could be a game that's like a shootout, basically, or because for me, New South Wales need to change what they did last year. They can't play the same way. And I think Queensland will be the combinations will be better because they've had that extra year of experience. So I just think the Queensland will be able to move the ball around. Like last year, they were just hanging on and defending and winning the 1%ers. I think New South Wales this year will have to change up what they do. Freddie's kind of got to go all in here, and game one is huge. So
Yeah. Well, I think the game plays in a Cotter and Carrigan territory. You know, those dirty fuckers just making 50, 60 tackles. Like, it's that type of shit. Like, I can see New South Wales having 55% of the ball and still losing.
Yeah, true.
You know, losing by 2 points or whatever it may be. But I could also see New South Wales blowing their absolute socks off. Turbo run and riot. Pango, what if it's a masterstroke? What if he actually delivers? Because him at his best for 15 minutes, it's almost unmatched because he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He can run like Taumalolo, offload like fucking, I don't even know who it is. I'm going to say Corey Parker, but he offloads like no other. And he's so strong and he can be so aggressive in defense. It just depends on his mindset. I think you'll tell by the first hit up.
Yeah, true.
He's either going to take the first hit up or he's going to hit Flegler high. Like, it's going to be one of those things. But that'll tell you what type of mood he's in. If he's just ready for war, he probably won't play that long. He'll give away a few penalties. He'll fucking throw the ball, offload it everywhere. But if Freddie is a good coach and gets his bloke in the right mindset, you never know what can happen. Speaking of Pango, you know he's never had a good coach? Apart from the short stint at the Panthers.
I was going to say, he's in a premiership winning squad. But yeah.
But not one that was going to focus on his development and unlock the potential that he has. That bad coaches the whole time.
Yeah, fair call.
So imagine he was at the Dolphins. Wayne's working wonders.
Yeah. But he's also got a bit of reputation when he was younger too, so
it's true. Just a quick word on the Dolphins. If you were any other club, would you try to sign any of the Dolphins players?
The Hammer would be someone.
Would you actually? Because I wouldn't touch the bloke.
Really? Nah, Ray Stone for me. Ray Stone's a underrated,
250K. Yeah, you can pay Ray Stone. Yeah. But I think a lot of the others, they're playing that way because of the coach.
They are. But again, they've got a good team. Like,
we say that now. We didn't say that before. Didn't you?
No, like as in no. As in, yeah, I agree. Like as in, they've got like ex-premiership winning players. It's not like Jesse Bromwich all of a sudden they're amazing because of him. Like,
yeah, but they're also not winning games because of Jesse Bromwich, right?
I agree. Like Wayne Bennett's done a good job, but I don't think as crazy as it sounds, I'm still not. I don't think they'll make the 8 still. I don't even think. Like I know where are they on the ladder?
I think they're 1 win away from first.
Yeah, so they're 16 points. I'm telling you now, they'll miss the 8. I still think they'll miss the 8. I still think they'll drop down. They're not quite Cowboys territory for me in terms of the dream draw and the dream run. But if you do look back at the games they've played this year, they've had a fair, like, apart from really Magic Round, they've beaten pretty average teams. Like,
that's what you need to do to make the 8.
No, but I'm talking like fucking. Well done. You beat the Roosters in round 1. Everyone thought it was a fucking shock. Now look at us fucking 12 rounds later. The Roosters are fucking awful. So it really wasn't much of a great thing anyway. Like, you beat the Knights. You beat the Cowboys. You beat the Titans. Titans maybe, but you beat the Dragons last week. Am I taking them against the Warriors this week? You bet. But
Vin Diesel, baby. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, let's get back to Origin. All right, since we don't know what else is going to happen, let's talk try scorers. We don't normally touch them because statistically it's a fucking scam. But why are we touching them this week?
I like scams.
In this game.
I like scams. Their value. So when the points line is low, you're actually end of times they're a bit juicy, which leans into my overs bet as well. To give context, the shortest price anytime try scorer is Addo-Carr at 220. You won't get Addo-Carr, like even if you go to the weekend's game against
You'd only
the
get
Roosters,
him at
for example.
220 against Penrith.
Yeah, like against when they're 10.5 point underdogs, he's 220 against the Roosters. So he's the same odds to score for New South Wales in a gun team than he is for the weekend in the Dogs. So juicy,
I'm not
juicy
touching
money.
him though. I'm not touching the Fox.
I'm not either. I'm not, but I've got four in the same game, which is very good odds.
Same game. I was going to
Same
take
game
him single because he's a juicy A. Fuck. All right, let's go with your most arousing one first. We'll start from the biggest odds and we'll go down. I've got 4 as well.
Biggest odds.
Yeah. Who you got? Who's got the biggest odds there?
Biggest odds would have to be, I'm assuming it's Munster or Cleary. Munster 425. No, Cleary 480.
I got Cleary as well. All right.
Cleary at 480.
Why do we think Cleary scores?
Last year he had that second game where basically carried and scored a couple tries himself. He's always there or thereabouts. I just think for that much. If he was paying that much for Penrith every week, I would be fucking loading up on him, basically. Like, you don't get Cleary at 425 ever. So even, like, again, to give you context, against the Dragons this weekend, he's paying 350. Like, you're getting jam, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm also in Cleary. I've been very impressed by his running game because he's so good. I think if he can win more Origins, I think he can be the greatest 7 ever because he's so fucking good. Defensively, he's elite. His running game this year has been very impressive. Even against Brisbane, he was running right. He should have had like 3 or 4 try assists, and like he was carving up in the middle. And I think if Queensland are going to play this dirty, fucking grimy game of low scoring, rushing off the line, all that type of shit, I think Cleary back on the inside, nice little show and go to one of these second rowers, and he pops over the line. So I've also got Cleary at 480.
Okay.
So I think it's a great shout. My big bopper, I'm taking Tavita Pangai Jr. $11 anytime on debut. I picture him scoring the way that Saifidi scored last year. Remember that one?
Yes.
And then he was like, we still fucking lost. I think Tavita can score a try like that.
Okay.
1-on-1 with Ben Hunt under the post or something like that. Just run him straight over. So this all hangs on that first minute. If Tavita's in the right mood.
I just couldn't put a guy for a bet who could fucking be sent off in 2 minutes.
Of course. $11 anytime. Who knows? What if Freddie tells him just tuck it under, mate? We can't afford any errors. It's Origin. You run hard, you tackle hard, and it's all I'm asking you to do. What if he just tucks it under?
Tuck it under then.
I can see him just grabbing it from out of dummy half and just burrowing under. It could be Appy, goes for a dart from 10 out, gets pulled up.
I love as a Queenslander, you're throwing out all these optimistic statements, so you're a win-win either way. You notice that? Like, you're going to either win
I'm not
bets,
a Queenslander, though.
or you're going to win your I love Queensland statement. That's one or the other with you.
I've got 2 Queenslanders as well. Don't you worry. I'm just telling you how I think it could play out. Hunting for some value. So, look, if Tavita burrows over because Appy's made a short break, gets pulled out 1 meter out, for some reason Tavita's there, and if he picks it up and then scores, you're doing next week's potty shirtless. All right, but it has to happen that way. He either runs over a small player in the middle to score like Saifidi did, or it's a scoop from dummy half. If it's that specific and it happens, you're going shirtless next week.
Yeah, okay. Him dummy half will be interesting, but yeah, all right.
Well, Appy's got to, scoot, get quarter meter out, and Tavita just happens to be there.
I think what's likely for him to score is Appy drills the defenders and puts him through a hole. Like what he's been trying to do with Alex Twal all year and hasn't worked. But he's put Stefano through. That's what I think. That I can see. I can buy into that.
Well, if that happens, I'll do it with my shirt off. But it's not going to happen that way. He could score a double and score them both ways, and we might just do it naked. Like, I'm comfortable with that.
Stark naked.
And I'll sit at the back of the room so you can see everything. I'll cross my legs. I'm not inappropriate. I don't want to get banned, but we'll see. All right. Well, what's your next try scorer? Is it Munster?
Munster. Yeah, I don't care Munster. It's just because he fucking plays well for Queensland. His Origin record's actually nothing special. Like, I think he's only got a 50% win rate in Origin, which is something I saw the other day. But I swear every time he plays, when they lose, he fucking carries as well. So
yeah. He has these unbelievable moments. Like, sometimes when you watch the Storm play, you kind of forget how strong he is and elusive. But in Origin, for some reason, he's so strong.
It seems to be the better the opposition, the better and harder is the tackle. It's weird. But yeah, Munster's my next bet.
And how do you see him scoring? I'm just looking for ways to get shirtless on the potty. So,
I just see like you talk about him running, but he's also very good at like diving on a loose ball or a grubber comes through and there's a bobble or a chip and bat back. He's always seems to be there or thereabouts. I could see that happening. Like a kick over to Cobbo and Cobbo bats it back inside and it lands on the ground. You'll pick it up and score. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Quite specific. I'll take my shirt off for that. All right. My next one is Dave Fafita at $3.80.
I looked at him. I did look at him.
You had a glance, and so you should.
Bit short, $3.80 for him.
It is. I did think it was quite short, but I think he's more likely to score than the Hammer is. I think he's more likely to score than Reece Walsh is.
Big call.
Reece Walsh doesn't even score that many tries for the Broncos.
Yeah, but did you see him against Penrith the other week? He was trying everything to kill.
Oh, he's always trying. Don't get me wrong.
Claiming everything.
But he'll set shit up. Like, even when he that what was that bomb that got taken away because he jumped into the defender?
He looked at Peachy, ran, and then jumped and turned around. Oh, eyes on the ball.
It was a smart play, but he just didn't pull it off well enough.
Yeah,
he should have turned sooner and still like had the same line into Peachy. But he should have, because that's very similar to what you do in basketball. When there's rebounds and stuff like that, you do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Even in the AFL, I watch it all the time. Once every 6 weeks, but I see that all the time. But he sets up a lot more tries than he scores. But I think Fafita's more likely to score than Walsh, Tuolangi, Cobbo, and the Hammer. So I'm taking Fafita's score. I think if he gets a chance one-on-one with anyone, absolutely anyone, I think he'll find a way to score.
He is in recent try-scoring form as well. Like, I don't think he scored in the first few. Like, I'm just having a quick look now. I don't think he scored in the first. Yeah, he didn't score in the first 6-7 rounds. It's only the last 5 rounds he started to score tries. The only things he does, I just think this defense. But then again, he did score against. No, he didn't score against Para. His tries have come against Dogs, Knights, and Manly. But yeah.
Sometimes I think some of his try, he just taps it 10 out and just goes by himself.
Yeah,
I think if there's
the old Islander under sixes play, mate.
I think for the Blues they'll have. I'm trying to think of which sides. Hudson Young will play on the left. He only plays on the left, so Frizzell's on the right. Fafita can play both the left and the right, but in club he's been playing on the left. So if he plays on the left, he's playing outside of Munster. So if the Mad Dog can create something and then somehow get Fafita one-on-one with who's there? That's Cleary's side. It'll be Cleary, Frizzell, or maybe Critters. Or Turbo probably playing on the right, actually.
They don't know yet. They might switch them. So
yeah,
I'm assuming Turbo will play with Addo-Carr and they'll put Crichton and Toto on the same side.
Right. Because I think before Latrell was out, Latrell was left, Turbo's right, but they probably would have flipped them.
Whereas a couple years ago, that was Turbo played outside of Addo-Carr, and that seemed to work. And then Toto and Crichton, obviously, with the combination.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they line up. I know some people have been watching their training to see, but I'm not that invested in New South Wales. But yeah, I think Fafita, one-on-one over the top. Thanks to Cam Month. Who's your next one?
My next one I have is it'd be Val Holmes, 350.
Oh, fuck, I'm the same one. All right, give us the juice. Val Holmes. He's been shit for the Cowboys. Terrible in his last game.
I reckon it's just a runaway try. Like a
He
line
does love a
break
good runaway try.
or an intercept or length of, like it's a runaway.
Yeah.
Drop ball, pick up.
It could be a grubber off the legs and suddenly
It's a runaway try for me. He loves that, and that's how I think he's scoring.
Yeah, I'll buy that as well. Yeah, I can see the runaway try. I could see him getting outside his man because, look, Turbo's probably not at 100% yet. And if he is defending Val Holmes, bit of pace. I don't think he has a matchup advantage, to be honest, but I think just some smart play. Like if he is, he will be on the left. And if Fafita's inside of him, if Fafita's running amok, then that gives him options out wide. So, and I think Tuolungi's got 2 tries this year. Val Holmes isn't passing the ball much. That's what that tells me.
No, he's a hog. But then the Cowboys are shit.
You know, Tuolungi, I think he has 8 or 9 try assists, though.
Does he? Well, didn't know the Cowboys
I feel like he gets into try scoring position and then he doesn't have the pace or whatever to finish. I think I could be completely wrong. It could be Chad Townsend. Who knows? Can you check that for me? Murray Tuolungi stats this year? Because I sometimes dream about bets in rugby league and these stats get made up. But
we have different dreams.
I'm married, mate. I don't dream what you dream.
Give
me the Tuolungi stats.
Wait, I'm on Queensland Tuolungi stats. That's not going to work.
No. We need Cowboy Tuolungi. I'm pretty sure he only has 2 tries and he's got a lot of try assists.
So Tuolungi. Oh, fuck, he's not even named? Oh, he is. Jumper 24 for this weekend. Tuolungi. He has 1 try assist this year.
Okay. It's probably Chad Townsend. How many tries? 2?
Yes, 2 tries, 1 try.
How many line breaks does he have? Maybe it's line breaks.
9.
Okay, it was line break. So he's breaking the line and he's not scoring. Whereas Sivo's got like 15 tries and like 18 line breaks.
You want to know the stat for me for Tuolungi? He's only had to make 24 tackles this year and he's missed 9 tackles. It's fucking terrible in defense. Send the traffic his way. There's your only time, guys.
Oh, he probably missed 6 tackles on Stafford Toa alone last week.
True.
So. All right, we're both from Val Holmes. Do you have any others? Or was that our 4?
Yeah, I got Turbo obviously as well.
Oh, fuck that guy, man. Why are you on Turbo?
Oh, he's going to be the basically backing up on support, or he'll get 1-on-1. Yeah, he carved up at Origin. He's going to be one of those players we've always got to pick him, same as the Latrell moving forward. So,
yeah, it makes sense. Fucking Turbo. All right, that's it for State of Origin. We don't know who's going to win. Luke thinks it's going to be overs. I think it's going to go unders. We've got some similar try scorers, but I think it's going to be a great game. I honestly cannot wait. And the good thing about Origin is, do we get footy, Wednesday through to Sunday?
Or is it Thursday? I think there is.
Women's State of Origin on Thursday.
Women's Thursday, then NRL Friday, because there's only 7 games.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of rugby league. And you can bet on the Women's State of Origin. Let's go. Just take Queensland plus 6.5. Don't know anything about it, but love a good underdog. All right, let's talk rugby league. We'll get through this quickly and get on with our lives because a lot of these teams impacted by Origin, so it'd be a tough call to make right now. But the West Tigers versus Canberra Raiders. Raiders $1.71 favourites. The line is 2.5. Totals, you're looking at 43.5. Who do we have? Raiders have one Origin player. Corey Harinera-Wire obviously out. Appy's playing for the Tigers. He's been named, but he's probably going to be playing close to 80 minutes tomorrow. So does he back up? He's not the youngest bloke going around. So question marks there. I'm personally backing the Raiders to cover that 2.5. Why am I backing them? Purely because if Appy does sit, I don't like the Tigers.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't think Jake Simpkin can do a job?
No.
Good.
Can't even spell his own name, that bloke.
I've gone Tigers. I've gone Tigers to cover.
Okay. Tell me why.
They just their last game they played, 66 points. They're fucking buzzing that team.
Fluke.
Yeah, basically. Raiders for me though, they did play a great. It's a bit of a letdown spot. They played their best game against South. I think South were off the boil a fair bit. They still did concede 26 points to South, so it wasn't like they played a dominant defensive display. And I think, yeah, again, that was their high versus the Tigers coming off a bye. And even if I'm going to take the gamble that they do play Appy, I think they just need to. I think they need to win games and on a position where they can go, we can rest them. We're in the 8. They're 4 points from the 8. So if they lose this game to the Raiders, who was 7th, they ultimately will go 6 points outside. So it's a bit of a must-win game for them. So, and at home where, yeah, that's probably where they play their best football. So
probably.
Well, they don't shit everywhere else. So
they've been shit at home, but their last month they've turned it around. They've been really good.
Yeah.
Look, if the Tigers beat the Raiders this week, I'll consider them a normal rugby league team, and I'll start betting them again moving forward. But for now, I think they've just been getting lucky. The Cowboys are one of the worst teams I have ever seen. Overrated.
Thank you.
Penrith got caught in a monsoon. That game was built for an upset. And I don't know who else they beaten. Who they beat? Or has it just been close losses from there?
They beat the Dragons, I believe. Magic.
The Dragons?
I could be wrong. Well, they've definitely won 3 games.
The Dragons are worse than the Tigers, but the Dragons didn't sign anyone.
They beat the Dragons. That's right. They beat the Dragons, and then between those games, they had South at like 6-0 for 60 minutes as well.
Yeah.
A full strength South, mind you. So
South's a full wank. They're just cruising.
Fair call.
They only lost by 20. So, yeah, that smell's still around. I can still smell it. And once I can't smell it, if they beat Canberra, I'll consider them a normal rugby league team and I'll back them. Do you have any other bets on that game?
Nope.
All right. Into your slutty Saturday. We've got the Warriors versus the Dolphins out in Auckland. Warriors $1.45 favourites. The line 6.5. Totals of 44.5. The Warriors not missing anyone due to state of origin. Surprise, surprise. But Wade Egan's back. Dylan Walker's back and Mitch Barnetti's back. For the Dolphins, the Hammer and Tom Gilbert, they're being arrested. So they're not even being named to play. But rumour has it you're taking the Dolphins here.
Correct. For me, the Warriors last week brought back that inconsistency. They should have beaten the Broncos.
They didn't get the dominant Brisbane side, mate.
No, not really dominant, but they were gutsy. I wouldn't say dominant.
The Warriors had better field position. They dominated the middle. Their forwards were doing work on ours. AFB was fucking nuts.
They dominated everywhere by the scoreboard, which is what counts in the end. So, no, I think I like that they're resting players, the Dolphins. To me, that shows a mature but belief in the players they have. So I think they'll get a bit out of that. And I think Queensland teams are going to go 2 from 2 in New Zealand. So taking the plus 6.5, I think that's too many points.
I like that. You made your decision. You stuck to it. You committed to it. You've got confidence in what you're saying. That's what I want to see. I'm taking the Warriors, minus 6.5. My second favourite team in the comp. I think it's a bounce back opportunity for them at home in their actual home. Hastings, no one's from there but Tohu Harris. They don't have supporters there. They got fucking streakers everywhere. They don't know what's going on.
I love that, by the way. Fuck, it was funny.
Oh, shitting me. I was like, just let this game go.
Nah, I want to. Did you see how much security they had? They were at one point like sending from every direction. Any other ground in the country, the second onwards is getting through it. But mate, they were fucking popping up everywhere. Security. It's like it must be a thing down there. Even one streaker, one chick ran, then goes, shit, I'm not going to get through. Did a U-turn and ran back into the crowd. Like, a lot of respect for the streaking game in Napier.
God damn. But yes, I'm taking the Warriors minus 6.5. I think there's a bounce back here. The team's a lot stronger. Wade Egan at 9 is crucial for their attack. And yeah, I can't see any weaknesses here. Whereas with the Dolphins, they got to travel. They go to Auckland. That's the biggest trip that this team as a group have had all year. Cody at fullback's a bit suspect. Jermaine's due for a letdown after murdering it last week. Milford was really good last week too.
Good hit he put on as well.
Yeah, throwing that fat ass around, but I don't have as much confidence in them. I looked at the Warriors' wins this year, and I think like 75% of their wins, making that up again, was more than 6.5 though. And also, I think it's the Dolphins, but they haven't managed to put together consecutive strong performances in the past 6-7 weeks. I think they've gone win loss or something. I could be completely wrong.
Probably.
I'd be looking at the wrong stats again. Probably just looking at Tuolungi all over again.
Tuolungi try assists.
But I'm taking the Warriors. So we're split between the two games. Although
we're split every game, by the way. It's even Origin.
Even Origin. One of us is going to be probably bang on, perfect round. So multi.
If one goes perfect, the other one's gone. That'll be. We'll both get 4 each. Yeah,
we split them and make zero profit. All right, next one. We've got the Titans versus Souths. Second game in your slutty Saturday. Souths are $1.37, Titans $3.10. The line 7.5. Totals are 47.5 points. Dave Fafita and Tino, they're both named. Foreign's being rested. Jaden Campbell's playing 6. Keanu Kinney is the new number 1. So that's very interesting. And for the Rabbits, Latrell's out. Taft's still at fullback. Their Origin players have been named, and Campbell Graham's also named as well. What are you going, Titans, Rabbitohs? What are you thinking?
Rabbits, minus 7.5. This Titans team, like, who the fuck's this Keeney bloke? It's a team of rejects when you look at it.
I think you say retards, and I was about to say, can't say that.
No. But, like, the bench, like, is that Payne Haas's brother or something?
Yes, Cleese Haas. He's built more like a second rower. He's nothing like Payne.
No, and then, I just think obviously the Rabbits got a bounce back from last week, so they'll be up for it. I think the depth is starting to get tested for the Titans. So they have a lot of backs, by the way, even their reserves. You've got Brian Kelly, Ken Mamalo. Fucking hell, he's still going around.
He's on the payroll. He doesn't play.
Yeah, but a big in is obviously Campbell Graham for South, best center in the comp.
Absolutely. We're on the same side on this one, but I'm taking South over 27.5 points. Game's playing at Seabus. There's a fucking shit ton of points there. The South could score 30 points and still lose.
Who's kicking conversions for South?
They don't need to. They can throw them over.
Okay.
Who is it though? I think it's Taff.
I'm assuming it's Taff. I think it was Taff last week.
Yeah.
It was Taff. Taff though kicked 3 from 5, wasn't?
Yeah, 60%. I'll take it.
Good maths.
Quick maths. I came first in general mathematics in my school.
Whereas Croker it did cost them last week, to be fair. Yeah. They both scored 5 tries last week, but obviously lost by 7 points because of the penalties and conversions.
I know. So, I'm taking Rabbitohs on the points. I think the Titans are capable of scoring. They're at home. It should be great conditions. The line's 47.5. They're going to be fucking points in this one.
That's big.
So that means they've got what? South at 27.5 and to the Titans at like 20.5.
Yeah. There's a point.
So they're expecting a fucking lot of points here. So, yeah. I don't see 20-0 in this one, baby. All right. This one. Probably the best game of the weekend. Sharks.
An actual main event for you this time.
An actual main event. Sharks versus the Broncos at PointsBet Stadium. Sharks are $1.60 favorites. Broncos at $2.35. The line is 3.5 points. Totals are 43.5. All of the Broncos names have been named to back up. Nico's been named. He'll back up. He'll only play 20-30 minutes. He'll be fine unless he gets injured. Talakai's back, which Connor Tracy, who I've liked watching, will be back to the reserves. And the Broncos, they've got a lot of reserves, a lot of the blokes that played last week, depending on how these fellas back up from Origin. So I'm personally not touching it because we've got so many players in Origin. Carrigan might play 70 to 80 minutes. Payne Harsh will play 60 minutes at least. It's going to be fucking wild. Cobbo seems to get injured in Origin a lot. So a bit questionable there. And it's Reece Walsh's first Origin. He might, depending on how they go, could sway how I bet on this game, but for now, I'm staying away. What about you? What you got?
I'm on the Bronx. Plus 3.5.
Tell me
The
why.
Saturday night kickoff, so it is later in the weekend. So I think backing up more likely to happen with these guys as opposed to Friday.
Yep.
That one extra day. One thing for the Broncos, despite missing Reynolds 2 weeks ago, their origin players last week, is defensively they're sound. Different challenge this week with the Sharks. I think the Sharks are going to make they can attack, but then again against Penrith they D'd up as well. So yeah, I'm sensing a bit of an ambush from the Bronx. I think they can go down there and cause the upset
Ooh, 2 weeks in a row.
and really stamp themselves as premiership contenders.
How good was Reynolds last week? Little bloke running around.
Very good. He just needs to stay fit. But again, you're not going to get him fit every game. It's when you got to time him, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like he's so happy to let everyone else do everything and take the spotlight when they're firing, but when you're missing players, he's stepped up. He ran the ball heaps.
Yeah, and the one thing for the Broncos, they are 6-1 on the road this year. Granted, a lot of those have been at Suncorp for Magic Round and against the Dolphins, but they did go to Penrith and get the win round 1. They obviously went to Darwin, and beat Parramatta. They also then went last week to New Zealand and got the win. So they don't mind traveling, the Broncos.
That's true. Young team, they've learned a lot. Speaking of the Broncos, how good is Herbie Farnworth? He's got to be up there in the top 3 centers.
Is he going next year?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, he's already gone, Yeah, and so is Flegler.
Is it Flegler? Killing me. Yeah, Flegler's gone too.
Fuck, yeah.
Herbie punches like almost 200 meters a week.
Yeah,
he scores us penalties all the time. The amount of times he pulls through the line, lands on his front, and gets penalties coming out of trouble is unbelievable.
Would you say he's the best? Would you say he's the best Pommy playing in Australia now?
Well, yeah. Who else is there? Not fucking Elliot Whitehead.
Not Dominic Young.
No,
Hodgson, no. Victor Radley.
Victor Radley.
He's not. He's playing better than him.
Herbie's a freak.
Herbie would be the best Pommy in Australia at the moment.
He's better than Katoni Staggs.
Yeah, I agree. He's actually, he's outshining Katoni. 7 tries for him this year. Only the 2 try assists, though, so no Tuolungi.
Oh, he doesn't pass. No, that's not his thing. He's a destructive runner of the ball. 7 tries. What's his tackle breaks? He breaks a lot of tackles.
56.
56 tackle breaks. I think Teddy has less tackle breaks than Herbie Farnworth. And Teddy's a tackle breaking machine.
Absolutely, he would.
I reckon Herbie's got more tackle breaks than Brian To'o.
Good question. I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
I'm biased, but this guy's a tackle breaking machine. Great feet, great strength. He's fucking huge.
Brian To'o, 38 tackle breaks this year.
You see? This motherfucker's hard to tackle. So, anyway, rant over. I'm going to miss him. I am going to miss him. He's a big loss. He's one of my favourite players, Herbie. But lucky I got a soft spot for the Dolphins. Fins up, baby. All right, let's get into your sleazy Sunday.
Just for the record, by the way, most tackle breaks in the column is Dylan Edwards at 81. Greg Marju has 80, by the way.
Yeah,
Knights. Lockie Miller 78. Knights have 2nd, 3rd, and Gagai on 66 tackle breaks in 5th, and they're fucking awful.
Yeah, because their forwards do nothing.
Herbie has most post contact meters of 792. He has 8 more meters than Payne Haas, and 28 more meters than Brian To'o.
See, he's a fucking animal. I'm telling you. He'll be in Queensland, Game 3.
Called it.
Please. But yeah, he's a beast. One to watch. All right, let's get into Sunday's games. We've got 3 on the Sunday. Roosters versus the Dogs at 2 p.m. Roosters $1.28, Dogs $3.75. The Lions 10.5. Totals 41.5. Teddy and Lindsay Collins are named. Jared's coming back. Joey Manu's back. Tupou's 18th man. For the Dogs, Tavita and the Fox are named to play. I personally have no bet on this game because the Roosters have been fucking dreadful, and the Dogs just, they could cover the line, but like they'll be losing the whole game for some reason. Like, just they're not great games to watch. The Dogs, I've got to say.
Do you feel like they remind you of the Dogs from 2-3 years ago?
They're still the same old Dogs with it's like just getting a fucking dirty old Civic and then just adding a bit of polish to it. Like, they look nicer, but they're still the same shit underneath. Like, $4,000 car, $2,000 exhaust. Like, it sounds better. You've invested in it, but it's still a shit box. So next year's Doggies fans, but are you touching this game?
Of course I am. Dogs plus 10.5 for me, just because the Roosters. There's only one team. I did see the Oracle on Twitter. Only one team in the comp has not scored 30 points this year in any game, and that is the Roosters. Every other team has at least scored 30 points in a game.
I was looking at the Roosters unders.
The Roosters haven't scored 30 points in a game yet this year, and I think just with that, the way even if obviously the Origin players play, which I suspect they will, it's only really Teddy and Crichton didn't get picked right. They're missing Brandon Smith. Little rumors going around about him. I'm not going to speculate too much, but he's a degenerate. Respect.
He's punting.
He's punting. Attaboy. I think even if they win, I don't think they'll be convincing. I think it'll be close. I think Dogs can keep it with 10.5, if not like jag a 2-point dirty win. So
I think that could happen too. All right, we like the Dogs. North Queensland Cowboys versus the Melbourne Storm. Cowboys are absolute dog shit. They're at 275. Storm 145. Line is 6.5. Totals are 42.5. All your Origin players have been named for the Storm, but for the Cowboys, they've been all placed into the reserves, so they could be added late. It is at North Queensland this game. I think the Cowboys have covered twice in a row against the Storm up there. If you're going on form, Storm all the way. If you like history, Cowboys are where your lean would be, but we don't know if all these Origin players are going to play. So I'm not touching it for now. I think I'll just wait till it gets closer to make a decision. But what are you betting on?
Storm
all the way.
Yeah, even
if they all play?
Even if they all play, Storm cover it. I think Cowboys, they were much improved against Para, but again, I thought Para always were going to win that game. I didn't think there was a period where I was like, Cowboys could jag this. They just kept it close. For me, though, it's weird because wasn't Taumalolo... he's named in the reserves. Why they keep naming him in the reserves? Like, it's...
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
Until he's back and playing, then I wouldn't be going near the Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys will definitely name all their players, just purely because they are so fucked this year on the ladder. They have to win.
Yeah. And Nanai is back from his suspension.
He is. And I think it's just an absolute must-win game because they got the bye the following week. So it's essentially a 4-point game for them. So they will throw everything at it, but I think Melbourne will be too classy.
Yeah, it's a good point. I like your thinking. Last one. Penrith versus St. George. 6:15 on a Sunday evening. Panthers $1.18. Dragons are $5. The line is 15.5. Totals 42.5. All Origin players appear to be named to back up. Games being played at Bluebet Stadium. I'm on probably what you're on, but I'm taking Dragons under 12.5.
I am on that, and I'm also on Penrith to cover the line. Penrith historically, and they do it every year, they name their players to play after Origin, especially on these long backups. I think
they're a young team. All those Origin players are young.
I think they're still the second or third youngest squad in the NRL. I think a couple of years ago they played on a Friday from memory after a Wednesday game, and they rested some players, but some still played. Players like Cleary, they play through that. So, I think I suspect they'll name near a full-strength team. And Dragons are absolute woeful. They're going back to the highlights of beating a shit Roosters team, came crashing down to earth last week against the Dolphins, where, they could have been... They were getting carved up through the middle in that first half. I was surprised that the second half was so low scoring. That was the only bet I hit, the unders in that one. And Isaac Tago is named. Spencer Lenny is also named on the reserve. So there's a chance that squad's going to be near full strength as well. So
yeah, that's a good point. I do like that. Penrith to pump the Dragons. I reckon the Dragons probably scored 10 points max in this game. So
I think that's
jiggy with it.
This is probably the weakest. It's probably going to come back to bite me next week. Hopefully, no one's still listening. This is the weakest attack that Penrith have come up against this year for me. I think the Tigers attack's even better than the Dragons.
The Tigers throw it around.
Yeah, like it's like that back line does not worry me at all.
And the Dragons also have no ticker. I think if it gets too hard for them, they'll turn in.
And at Penrith too. So
they have 2 players I'd sign: Ben Hunt and Jack DeBellin.
Correct.
The rest can go in the bin. Boom shakalaka. All right, bros. Well, good luck tomorrow night for State of Origin. Good luck this weekend.
Likewise.
First couple of games are going to be interesting. We'll see who's right on that. But hopefully we'll get to see you on the potty next week. Shirt off. So for everyone still listening, back to Vita Pangai, baby. He's coming. He's coming out of WR.
I'll laugh if he scores like that and then gets sent off.
Fuck, that'll be excellent. But good luck. I'll catch you next week. Huncho, Lockie, thanks again for firing up the chat, boys. I'll see you when I see you. Salam.